Okay, what's up, y'all? Happy Virgo lunar eclipse. That's right, we're here to talk about the energies here and what is kind of occurring for us as a collective through the Virgo eclipse. First of all, if you have made it to this Virgo eclipse and you have not gotten sick, congratulations, because you're like the chosen one. Because, health and physical health is definitely a big theme of like Virgo energy. Excuse me. So I just know that a lot of people have been dealing with sickness, whether that's them or people close to them. I myself have gotten a little bit sick. It's been kind of weird because, like, like I felt it come up, but then I felt fine. But now it's like I don't know where I am. But yeah. Anyways, without rambling too long, um, we're coming into this Virgo eclipse, and I'm super excited about it. It really feels like a psychic spring cleaning or an emotional spring cleaning for us all. Definitely feels like Marie Kondoing a little bit in regards to like personal habits, routines, rhythms that need an overhaul. So yeah, I also wrote reorienting physical habits and rhythms because that's really what this is about. Virgo will rule kind of those like daily routines that we have. It kind of rules like going to work. It rules like having small pets. It rules coworkers. It rules like your kind of your physical routines, like daily routines. So like going and working out and stuff like that. And this is opposing the Pisces energies in the chart, where Pisces will kind of rule like your subconscious. It kind of rules those hidden like subconscious uh, attributes or influences that could self sabotage a bit, right? This lunar eclipse is ruled by Mercury, which is currently in Pisces right now. So, um, Mercury does not like to be in Pisces. Pisces is a little bit more like expansive and fluid than Mercury really enjoys, but it's not a bad place for Mercury to be in. It's more so, though, like very intuitive, very psychic, very underneath the surface of what is going on here. And, with Mercury going retrograde and this eclipse in Virgo right now, this is a review, right? This is a review of habits. This is a review of your rhythms. This is a review of, you know, physical kind of beliefs, like guiding principles in regards to kind of like building towards like long term goals, right? Um, to have this eclipse in Virgo being ruled by Mercury and Pisces, like Mercury right now is sorting through a bunch of subconscious energetic flow, subconscious energetic influences that are going on within you, right? And things that we're kind of holding on to that are undermining us, that are kind of holding us back, could be things that have to do with like traumatic, like past experiences that then create certain I guess like ticks. Ticks is a way that I'm trying to say this, but I don't want it to sound so like neurotic in that sense. But sometimes you develop certain trauma responses to any type of big influences, and sometimes you don't even realize that they cause you to play out certain actions, right? So um, this time right now with this Virgo eclipse is for clearing those things out. It's for clearing those subconscious, like, gucky shit inside of you that is not helping you in this current transition, right? With eclipses, we're being redirected towards, like, our life purpose. And there are just certain coping mechanisms that a lot of us are still holding on to that limit us from being able to fulfill our goals in a actually like meaningful, fulfilling way. Personally fulfilling as well is really the message that I want to put forward. Like, there is a way that a lot of us are conditioned to hold belief systems that really value and define material resources and things as worthy and meaningful and as indicators of success. And those things can be true, but unless it also touches you on a soulful level, like something that is emotionally fulfilling and also something that kind of inspires you, you know what I mean, lights your fire. If those things are not imbued into the like physical commitments and the physical goals that we are building towards in our tangible reality, it's not sustainable. It's not able to really provide us the deep sense of fulfillment that we desire, because it's not about the physical things, right? It's just about the feeling. It's just about the feeling. And so when so many people are kind of attached to this material reality in order to kind of like get their emotional needs met, you're gonna find out that you're just gonna keep falling short, you know, because you'll have this image of what you need to achieve to be happy, and you can find that once you achieve that, you still don't even feel happy. You're still not satisfied with what you've got going on, but then you feel kind of trapped because if you're not engaging with this thing, then you don't have the security, right? You don't have the stability that these material things are promising. I don't know why I went down on that rant. I think we're still on track, but a few things that I wanted to put forward before I get into the tarot cards. I wrote how to rearrange external habits or rhythms to create more authentic flow. I also wrote what patterns disassociate or block you from responsible presence, right? Responsible presence to yourself, your physical container, or just like this external goal that you are desiring to show up for in a responsible way. What patterns disassociate or block you from responsible presence to have your nervous system regulated in a deeply fulfilling and responsible way? We're really looking to rearrange our rhythms in a way that honors our authentic capacity and our authentic energy. Any self-sabotaging patterns are being addressed right now. We're rewiring our baseline, right? We're redefining what we need in order to feel like safe within ourselves, one, but also just to feel like satisfied and fulfilled on a large scale, right? Because whatever we are wanting to move forward into, we want to be able to show up for it on a consistent basis. And the only way to be able to do that is if these new directions, these new opportunities, or these new goals are really devotional, right? It's things that you want to do despite whether or not it's going to provide material wealth or value, in quotes. Self-sabotage is addressing what does the new baseline require, and how can you find out if you don't release the old coping mechanisms, right? So there's a desire to move into something that's just much more soulful. But the old beliefs, the old guiding principles, the old coping mechanisms that helped you feel safe and helped you feel grounded are not working in this new reality, right? It's not working to get you closer to something that's truly, deeply fulfilling. So you have to be willing to let go of some of these things that we've been utilizing, right? And to sit within that discomfort, to know, to find out where your baseline is and what actually fulfills you. You know what I mean? Like, what can you build upon that is just authentic and actually stems from within you, rather than a external goal that you just, like an image that you see that you think is going to satisfy you in a personal way. Rest is necessary, yes, because we are in Pisces season, and so Pisces will also like rule sleep. So a lot of us can be feeling tired, a lot of us can be feeling groggy. That's normal for Pisces season, but also rest as this concept of like being yourself, like who you are at rest state, right? Who you are when you are not trying to hold on to these certain identities or rules or responsibilities that provide like a sense of camaraderie in a social sense. You know, you sometimes people feel like they have to be reaching these particular like life milestones or checkpoints so that they don't feel like they're behind. They don't feel like they are worthless. But that's not quite necessary. You know what I mean? Like people's perceptions of you doesn't really matter. You know, like whatever is meaningful for you is meaningful for you. And going towards that and engaging with that, even if other people don't think that it's cool, that doesn't matter because you're still being deeply satisfied, you know? So, yeah, kind of letting go of some of these old coping mechanisms and discovering who we are at rest state. And from there, discovering where our body naturally wants to go, what goals naturally arise from us that are completely personal and that are not based on, you know, goals that society says that we have to achieve. The new container needs a new rhythm or baseline. Cool. So we're going to go into the tarot spread, and I always pull like 6 tarot cards and I clarify. And I've been using my own cards that I've made, and they have been really fun, just adding an extra layer of depth that is meaningful for me. But I want to go through this first row going across. We've got the Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Swords reversed, and the Page of Wands. And I feel like this is really talking about the container, right? The Ten of Pentacles would represent that container for our identity. And, you know, what I mean by that is all the individual pieces that kind of make us who we are. This Ten of Pentacles is being clarified by the Slave for You card, which would be the Devil card, right? So definitely within our awareness, at the forefront of our awareness is this physical container and what we are holding onto that represents a comfort zone and actually like blocks us from being able to expand and to grow into more meaningful, purposeful, and fulfilling kind of goals, right? We have the Ten of Pentacles and the Slave for You card, and then we have the Queen of Swords in the reverse and the Burn Baby Burn. So that is the Devil. So whenever I see the Queen of Swords, that reminds me of like our perception, right? Swords is thoughts, perception, communication, is information. The Queen of Swords is all about like personal experience, personal lived experience. And when the Queen of Swords is in the reverse, it's just this need or desire to see something differently, to understand something differently, right? It's like your perception gets flipped on its head in a particular way. But I really feel like it's in service to this death card, the Burn Baby Burn card, because we are trying to rewire our perspective or perception on what is valuable and what is meaningful for us, right? Specifically for us. We're looking at all these building blocks that have built up our physical identity, and now we're kind of seeing some things in a different way because there could be some like understanding that certain pieces or certain values or perspectives that you've been holding on to so tight have been holding you back from really achieving what you deeply desire, right? I mean, the Ten of Pentacles would definitely represent that, but you know, if you say that you had a long-term goal that you were trying to build towards, right? The Ten of Pentacles would represent achieving that goal, right? But the caveat then is that you have to consistently meet this criteria to be able to benefit from the resources or the reward of this goal that you built towards. So, if this goal was something that was external, an image that was outside of you that you decided to move towards, rather than something that came from within you, then you can kind of reach this space, and if you realize that it doesn't actually provide the happiness that you thought it was going to, then you feel trapped. You know, you feel trapped by the obligation or the responsibility of um, whatever it took for you to achieve this goal. You know, whatever skills you had to build, whatever beliefs that you had to like commit to or subscribe to. You know, if it was not yours to begin with, if it was not a deeply personal goal or value that lives within you, you will feel trapped when you realize that it doesn't provide the happiness that you want, but in order to receive the benefit of this container, you have to fit this criteria, you know? So I feel like a lot of us are kind of seeing that or discovering spaces or parts of ourselves that feel like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, I've held this belief or I held this value for so long, but now I'm realizing that this particular value, it kind of creates a ceiling. You know, it creates a ceiling in regards to being able to build towards something that's actually personal. You know what I mean? That's not based off of this external image. So Ten of Pentacles, Devil card, Queen of Swords in reverse, Death card, and then we have the Page of Wands with the home base, which would be the Four of Pentacles, right? I think this is such an interesting combination because with the Queen of Swords, Page of Wands, both of these are court cards. They're trying to do something, right? Queens are typically receptive, so this is a review, an inner process that's happening. But pages are really curious, so they are trying to develop proficiency within their suit. With the Page of Wands, this is fire. This is all about what's inspiring, what's fun, what's exciting. Those sparks of inspiration where you just want to put your energy out there and experience something. Oftentimes it's like a certain type of like expression. Since it's Wands energy, it's very fiery. It's very much what you're passionate about. Or it could be like a physical activity, you know, but just something that is like sparking your interest. And to have this in combination with the Four of Pentacles, you know, the Four of Pentacles would also represent a comfort zone in a particular way, where when you hit the four in regards to building towards a long-term goal, the four will represent like a foundation, right? Something you can fall back on, something you can sit on that is providing security, is providing stability. When you're trying to build from the four and you step to the five, you feel a little bit more insecure, you feel a little bit more shaky, you're not certain that you're going to find another like landing spot, right? But when I'm looking at this Four of Pentacles, I'm really seeing like the baseline. Remember what I was kind of describing before? There's a new baseline that has to be discovered. And I think this Page of Wands with this Four of Pentacles is rediscovering the baseline or trying out different things that maybe you had shunned before or set aside before because you felt like it didn't fit within this type of criteria that you needed to embody in order to have some sort of like social belonging. Now that you're ready to burn down kind of the way that you've considered that or seen those things, now it's like I'm trying to find out what my new baseline is, but something that is also like inspiring for me, you know, something that also causes me or entices me to get up out of bed. I want to move on to the next row because we have the Queen of Pentacles reverse, we have the Ace of Cups reverse, and then we have the Grimalkin in the reverse, which Grimalkin is a special card in this particular deck. But I want to go to this Queen of Pentacles reverse. It's being clarified with the Fill the Void card, which would be the Seven of Cups. This is interesting with the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. It's underneath this Ten of Pentacles, right? So there, that type of combination already is showing me that there is some type of discomfort with what we've been holding on to, you know, with what has been our routine, what has been our social rhythm, within our identity, right? Within the container of our identity. I see with this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse and the Fill the Void card, it's like you've been holding on to this thing because it's been providing, I guess, temporary relief in regards to feeling like emotionally dysregulated, you know? I feel like for a lot of folks, especially when in regards to like this Queen of Pentacles and this Ten of Pentacles, which could represent a social container, it's like you've been holding on to these pieces of identity that you have, put on so that you can maintain the camaraderie or the belonging in this space. But that like sense of belonging, it's temporary in regards to it. It doesn't actually deeply fulfill an emotional need for you, right? You get emotional support because you are like presenting yourself within this, within these rules. And so because of that, you get the reward of being in this space. But I feel like, a lot of us are not, we don't want to hold on to it anymore because once again, like it feels like it plateaus our ability to build and grow something that is personal, that is a deep individual need, I see with the Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups, like that's kind of why I'm getting like this Seven of Pentacles type of energy where it feels like a lot of us are in this plateau moment, right? We're kind of cross-referencing this container that we've been inside of, and then also like our, I guess, progress that we feel that we're at within our personal goals, right? And there is a discrepancy there, right? They're not simpatico. Like sure you have this sense of camaraderie, but it's at the expense of deep fulfillment. And so in order to get that fulfillment met, you have to let go of, some of these commitments or some of these ways of being that allowed you to be comfortable in this container of your identity. When I see the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, this is definitely that discomfort from shifting your rhythm, from shifting coping mechanisms. You know what I mean? You're not utilizing the same physical sources to kind of suppress the void that you feel within you. But you want something that is authentic and deeply satisfying. Because the next position here is the Ace of Cups in the reverse with the I said what I said, which is the Queen of Swords. So, interesting, this Ace of Cups reverse, Queen of Swords is right underneath the Queen of Swords reverse and the Death card, right? I feel like this Queen of Swords reverse Death card energy is really needing to have that purge within our mental space, right? That purge within the way that we kind of create or have been creating meaning and have been kind of identifying with certain like belief systems or value structures. We want to have a rebirth there, right? But with this combination of the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Cups in the reverse, it's like the first step is knowing what you don't want, right? Knowing what is not fulfilling, knowing what does not provide happiness and just that emotional sense of resonance, The Queen of Swords, like I was saying earlier, it's based off of our past experience. It's based off of our past wisdom. So this Queen of Swords energy is very clear on what opportunities, what, physical things that you've been holding on to that don't satisfy you, that don't really align with you and your identity on an authentic, like deep level, right? I think this is the sorting type of energy that's going on here. because I see this Ace of Cups reverse. I see this Page of Wands with the home base. When I see the Ten of Pentacles and the home base, this is the Four of Pentacles. But I feel like what's going on is that we are physically reviewing every single one of these like values, every single one of these beliefs, you know, and cross-referencing that to see if it actually aligns with, you know, our creative energy and our heart energy for like satisfaction and fulfillment. And whatever is not satisfying, you're ready to let that go, you know? And it's such an intuitive process, you know, with this, you know, Mercury retrograde going through Pisces. It's all about what you feel. It's all about what you feel. It's not about the logic. It's not about the responsibility and, you know, the practicality and rationality of it all. It's about feeling good, you know? To feel good is to feel God. I got that quote from another, you know, spiritual creator that I enjoy. But this is how you're going to know what is you and what is performance, right? Whatever you've been holding on to, does it feel good? Or do you hold on to it because it's responsibility? Do you hold on to it because it's obligation? Do you hold on to it because it provides resource and you consider a resource, physical resource, to be the only thing that provides security and stability and safety within you? What are you ready to let go of? What is not satisfying? What is not fulfilling? I know for a fact you know exactly what it is, right? But you're still struggling with just letting it go because you don't know the baseline otherwise. But you'll find the baseline. You'll find the new baseline, but you have to let the old things go so that you know who you are at rest. So you know who you are without the pressure of the external influence. So the last card that we've got here is the Grimalkin in the reverse. And it's clarified with the perfectly in place, which would be the Three of Pentacles. So the Grimalkin card in this deck is really about intuition and like trusting kind of your own personal direction. The reversal here is highlighting the tension that a lot of people feel in regards to just trusting their intuition, trusting what is right for them, what decisions are right for them. There is a difficulty kind of shrugging off the external perception and external values and external beliefs. And I see that a lot with this Three of Pentacles card, where it sometimes could be about, you know, personal collaborations and people who are coming together to build towards a common goal. I think that a lot of us can find, you know, if you've been in this Ten of Pentacles container, the external perception, you know, like of what other people think is valuable, what other people think is meaningful, and that image really clouds your ability to feel like you can trust something that's just yours, even if it kind of diverts or differs from this particular value system or belief system that held you in a former container, right? I think if you are aligning yourselves with authentic people who share similar guiding principles and definitions of value and meaning, then you can really develop your energetic container in a more meaningful way, right? Feel more comfortable kind of engaging with the things that are just personally fulfilling rather than feeling like you have to keep up with the Joneses, you know, in a way. The other thing that I want to say with this perfectly in place, Three of Pentacles, is that it's underneath the home base card, Four of Pentacles. So once again, I'm getting this Seven of Pentacles energy, right? With this Page of Wands, this Grimalkin card in the reverse, Four of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, this overall Seven of Pentacles energy, right? This is trying out new actions, right? I think there are several things that we may be interested in trying and engaging with and doing if we felt like we weren't restricted from external influence and external perception. And this is that moment to test out those things, right? Because at the end of the day, if you've never had the ability or you've never taken the opportunity to try these things out, you don't actually know if it's you or not, but you won't know unless you try. So I think that this is like rearranging, this is a reorienting of certain personal beliefs, right? And maybe even shifting yourself from engaging with the external perception of value and success and switching to trying out something that's just authentic, trying out something that's just for you and seeing how you feel about that, you know? So that's what I really feel like is going on here with this Virgo eclipse. Like I said, it feels like a psychic spring cleaning moment, but I it's very intuitive, you know, and it's really just all about feeling. I love that we have this Page of Wands and this Ace of Cups energy here, because I feel like fire and water is just really soulful. You know exactly what you want to do, and you know exactly how you want to feel. And I think this is the moment for us as a collective right now, to just engage with those things, to just do it, you know, to just do it. I've been kind of experimenting a little bit with some like intuitive, like, writing or channeling to also assist these messages. And one of the things that has been coming up a lot is this phrase, easier said than done. And I think that has been possibly a perspective that has held a lot of people back, right? This easier said than done, easier said than done. If you feel that and kind of hold that in your mind as your perspective, it is easier to just not try at all, right? It's easier said than done. This is the moment to just do it. Show, don't tell. It's easier done than said at this point. You know what I mean? Like, you need the change. You're craving a change. You're craving to break free or let go of some sort of obligation or something that makes you feel stuck or trapped. And in order to break this free, you just have to make a different decision. Just do it. Just try it. That's what the Page of Wands is to me. It's like the just try it. It's the do it scared type of energy. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid to fall. You have to fall to learn how to do it right. You know what I mean? You have to fail to learn how to succeed. So that's from the tarot. We're going to close off with 2 oracle messages. I pulled a card from the Barbie Oracle, and then I pulled one from the Animal Spirit as well. And from the Barbie Oracle, I pulled the Day to Night Barbie. So, the message from Day to Night Barbie, it says, all work and no play makes Barbie, well, not Barbie. There's no denying our favorite doll is ambitious and hardworking, but she knows how to have fun too. Case in point, Day to Night Barbie, inspired by the working women of the 80s, Barbie defined the pink power suit. She effortlessly transformed her signature business look into fab cocktail attire for a night out on the town. Hit your deadlines and get that well-deserved promotion, but don't forget to celebrate those achievements before moving on to your next goal. You've earned it. I think the main thing that was coming to me was the kind of all work versus and no play type of energy, where I feel like this type of, like this Ten of Pentacles energy, this is the all work, right? And then the Ace of Cups in the reverse and that Page of Wands is like the no play. And there just needs to be that shift. There needs to be that reorganizing, redefining of our physical time, our physical habits, our day-to-day habits and routines in order to bring in some more natural energetic flow that allows us to tap into more of the passionate, emotionally fulfilling goals or endeavors that are possible for us. So then from the animal spirit, I pulled the starfish. And the starfish says, beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to awe. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is, these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? When in balance, it's uplifting, artistic, and expressive. When out of balance, it gossips and it feels empty. To bring into balance, positive friends. Okay, so yes, the main thing with the starfish is the kind of energy of being swayed by outward appearances. And that's also what I feel like this Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse energy feels like, you know? Starfish can be reliant on how they look and what other people think of them, right? So it's this energy of like keeping up with the Joneses. It's like you want other people to see you as successful and valuable and worthy, but you're trying to do that by, you know, trying to meet all the milestones, trying to meet all the checkpoints, trying to adhere to all of these social standards of what is successful and what is valuable. And it's just not you, you know? And because you're trying so hard to meet this role, to fit this container, it's like you don't even know what is your deeper calling. You know? So ask yourself if you have put some dreams aside to please other people, you know? Ask yourself if you are doing things just because that's, you know, what you're supposed to do socially, you know, the milestones you're supposed to hit, and kind of the energy of like keeping up with the Joneses, or, you know, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Are you doing as the Romans do, or are you doing as you want to do? That was kind of weird, but I'll leave it at that. So yeah, that is the energy that I'm seeing for this Virgo lunar eclipse. I hope that this message made sense. If you made it here, you are incredible. Drop a starfish in the comments. But yeah, this is really a moment to shift some of those like habits, those rhythms, those routines that we've been holding on to that, you know, don't have context for where we're trying to go and where we're trying to get. You know, there's just certain ways that we kind of felt restricted or held back, and they have caused us to feel like we're plateauing, you know, or we're not being able to meet our personal goals. But there's a way that we can flip this on its head and maybe meet these structures and systems in a way that's just authentic. And, you know, no matter what, people will have their own perception of who you are and what you're doing. And it can look like something on the outside while being something completely different on the inside. So that's what I wanted to say. Give us a like if you liked it. Definitely subscribe if you want to follow for more videos in the future. I do have Eclipse season services that are available until March 19th. I do in-person client sessions on Saturdays in Seattle at the Inner Alchemy Healing Room. So if at any point, you know, you may feel inspired or interested in tapping into a message that is specifically for you, specifically channeled for you, I would invite you to check out my Ko-Fi page and check out the offerings that I have. I do have an Eclipse special for a $100 exchange. So if that is something that's calling towards you, definitely give that a go. So I'll see you guys next time. Actually, I probably will see you very soon for the second half of Pisces season. But yeah, see you guys.